Good morning, students. All of us are at home as social distancing is the only way to prevent the spread of coronavirus infection. First of all, as science students, I want to say to you students that make your parents, make your family members aware of how communicable diseases spread. Secondly, don't waste your time, utilize your time in studying. So for this, we are going to start from the second chapter of biology, that is the fundamental unit of life, cell. Students, you have studied in 8th class about cell. If I ask you, what is cell? You will say, cell is the structural and functional unit of life. What does that mean? Structural means all the structure of living organisms is made up of cells. Just like this wall is made up of bricks. Similarly, all the living bodies are made up of cells. And functional unit means all the basic functions like respiration, digestion, etc. are performed inside the cell. Then we come to the discovery of cell. Now we know all the living beings are made up of cells. But for a long time, cells were not discovered as cells are not visible with naked eyes. So Robert Hooke in 1665, Robert Hooke was the first scientist who observed cells in a thin piece of cork. And he observed such honeycomb-like structures. He gave them the word cell from the term cellula, which is a Latin word which means empty space or a little space or a little room. From this he derived the word cell. Then Robert Brown in 1851, he said all the cells have a central nucleus. Then there were two more scientists. Then there was scientist Purkinje, who said all the living material present inside the cell is called protoplasm. Then the two scientists, Shieldin and Swan, they gave cell theory. Students, now I will tell you the points of cell theory. You have to learn these points. First point is, all the organisms start their life as a single cell. All the organisms start their life as a single cells. Secondly, new cells arise from pre-existing cells. Let's start with cell theory. All the living organisms are made up of cell and cell products. All the metabolic reactions inside the body take place inside the cells. And thirdly, new cells arise from pre-existing cells. Last point is, every organism starts its life as a single cell. Now, students, we will study unicellular and multicellular organisms. Uni means one. Unicellular means organisms made up of a single cell. For example, amoeba, paramecium, etc. And multi means many. For example, human beings are made up of trillions of cells. Earthworm, birds, animals, we can give so many examples. So multicellular example is human beings, birds, etc. So we can also see the cells in an onion peel. If we cut onion and if we remove a transparent peel from it, if we remove a transparent peel from it, this is the one. If we see this peel in microscope, we will observe cells like this. We will also see if we observe different organisms, we see similar type of cells. This means all the living organisms are made up of cells. Now we come to the term prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Now students, if you see these cells have a clear-cut nucleus in the center which has nuclear material, and then later on we will study it has so many organelles in it. So such cell having nucleus bounded by a nuclear membrane and organelles is called eukaryotic cell. All the plants, animals, including human beings, they are made up of eukaryotic cells. But organisms like bacteria, blue-green algae, they are made up of prokaryotic cells. Now what are these prokaryotic cells? These cells do not have a clear-cut nucleus bounded by nuclear membrane. They have just nuclear material scattered in the center of the cell called nucleoid. And there are no cell organelles except ribosomes. This is cytoplasm, cell wall, and there are hair-like structures called villi. You can draw this cell, you have to draw this cell in your notebook. This is prokaryotic cell. This primitive type of cell is prokaryotic cell, like present in bacteria. Students, you have to learn the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. At least 4 points you should learn. Next is the cell shape. Now we study cell shape, cell size. Cell shape and cell size. Cell shape, they depend upon the location and the function of the cell. Like nerve cells are elongated as they have to send message to different parts of the body. Skin cells are flattened, so cell shape is depending upon the function and location of the cell. Regarding the size, if we observe a mouse and an elephant, there is not difference in the cell size. The cell size is almost similar. So what is the difference? The difference is that elephant has more number of cells and mouse has less number of cells. The cell volume is also fairly constant in different organisms. Now we come to the next topic, that is structure of cell. For this, we divide the cell into three fundamental parts. First is cell membrane. Second is nucleus. And third is cell organelles or the first is cell membrane. It is also known as plasma membrane. Students, to study all this, you have to draw plant cell and animal cell in your notebook. I will show you how to draw plant cell, and then animal cell you will draw yourself. You can make an oval or rectangular shape. This outer covering is cell wall. Inner membrane is cell membrane or plasma membrane. And then we'll draw a big bean-shaped vacuole in the center. This is called vacuole, bounded by covering called tonoplast. Due to this vacuole, the nucleus is pushed to one side. Nucleus we will draw like this. This membrane is not continuous. It has pores. This is nuclear membrane, also known as nuclear envelope. Double nuclear envelope. Then there is nucleolus. All this is chromatin, thread-like structures. Then nucleoplasm, fluid material present inside the nucleus is nucleoplasm. All this is the labeling of nucleus. All these are the parts of the nucleus. Then we'll draw other cell organelles. Then we will draw mitochondria, like this. Mitochondria. Then draw 4 or 5 chloroplast. Chloroplast. cytoplasm, then endoplasmic reticulum, like this, attached to nuclear pore, and on the surface these dots, these are called ribosome. So what is this? RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum. We will also draw SER, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This much of labeling is sufficient. Now in a similar way you will draw animal cell in your notebook. Now dear students, let us come to the next topic. The first topic, cell membrane, also known as plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is living, thin, delicate membrane. It is selectively permeable. This means it allows only some molecules, small molecules like water, carbon dioxide, oxygen, etc. to enter in the cell. Different models were proposed to tell the structure of cell membrane. The best model was fluid mosaic model given by Singer and Nicholson, name of the scientist, in 1972. According to this model, plasma membrane is made up of lipids and proteins. It is a bilayer of lipids and proteins. I will show you. You will draw it like this. This is bilayer of lipids. Lipids means fats. These are actually phospholipids. Bilayer of phospholipids having two types of proteins. One type of proteins are present inside the layer. These are called intrinsic proteins. And other are present on the surface. They are called extrinsic proteins. Now we will study the function of this plasma membrane. So first of all, I told you it is selectively permeable. It allows only small molecules to pass through it. The other functions are diffusion and osmosis. So next we come to diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of molecules from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration till the concentration becomes uniform. And next is osmosis. Osmosis is a special type of diffusion of only water molecules. Here the water moves from high concentration to low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Students, you also have to learn the difference between diffusion and osmosis. At least 4 points you should learn. The difference between diffusion and osmosis. Now there is very important topic related to this osmosis. We will study what happens when a cell is put in different type of solution. So we have come to know that osmosis takes place. So if there is a solution having water and small amount of salt or sugar in it, such type of solution is called hypotonic solution. Hypotonic. So first is when a cell is put in hypotonic solution. If there is a large amount of salt, then it is called hypertonic solution. And one more type we will study, that is isotonic solution. So let's begin with hypotonic. Hypo means more concentration of water, that is dilute solution. So when a cell is put in hypotonic solution, since the concentration of water is more outside, water will enter in the cell. Water will enter in the cell, so what will happen? The cell will swell up. So the water will enter and cell will gain water and swell up. So the answer is cell will gain water and swell up due to end osmosis, entry of water in the cell. Second, we come to hypertonic solution. Hypertonic means here the solute concentration is more. So this means water concentration is high inside the cell than outside the cell. So cell will lose water and cell will shrink, decrease in size. Next is isotonic. Iso means equal. When there is equal concentration of water inside as well as outside. In such a case, water will neither enter nor lose, neither cell will gain water nor cell will lose water. There will be no change in the shape of the cell. So it will remain as it is. So it is very important question. Next is
बहुत अच्छी बना रहा है.
तो तू खोलो या तो फोटोग्राफी का शौक से है ना. Next is cell wall. Cell wall is present outside the cell membrane only in plant cell. You already studied in 8th standard. Cell wall is dead layer fully permeable to water. It is made up of cellulose. Here you have to learn one more important question, that is difference between plasma membrane and cell wall. Next is the functions of cell wall. Cell wall is more rigid as compared to plasma membrane, so it gives rigidity to plant cell. You have already learned this. The plant cell is more rigid than animal cell. Cell wall allows the cell to absorb water and swell up. Next, now we come to next topic, that is nucleus. See the diagram of nucleus that I have made. Nucleus is bounded by double membrane which is not continuous. It has pores called nuclear pores. And like this we will draw double nuclear envelope. Inside it has nucleolus and these thread-like structures called chromatin. Then all the liquid material present inside the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. We will discuss the functions of all these parts one by one. Nucleolus is called the factory of ribosomes. this chromatin is a network of threads. When the cell has to divide, this chromatin changes into rod-shaped chromosomes. It has genes which help in the transfer of characters from parents to the young ones. Dear students, you will learn the function of these different parts of the nucleus. Now we come to our next topic, that is the structure of these chromosomes. So I told you, when this chromatin, which is like an intertwined thread, when it condenses, it changes into rod-shaped chromosome. Chromosome is made up of these two chromatids which are attached, and this is centromere. Centromere. It has genes which help in the transfer of characters from parents to the young ones. You will learn all these terms: chromatid, centromere, chromosome. All these terms you have to learn. Now, as you know, human beings have 46 chromosomes, which are in the form of 23 pairs. So, such organisms which have paired chromosomes, they are called diploid organisms. And the organisms in which these chromosomes are not in the form of pairs, they are called haploid organisms. Haploid organisms. Like bacteria, diploid include human, plants, animals. Most of the organisms are diploid. You will also learn the difference between haploid and diploid organisms. I will be providing you notes of all the questions which I am telling you, you have to learn. Now next we come to cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the fluid material present inside the cell. All the cell organelles are embedded in the cytoplasm, right? So this cytoplasm contains 90% water along with some nutrients, glucose, salts, ions, etc. Today you learn so this much. Rest I will be discussing in my next video. I will be sending you question answer based on this topic. Thank you.